Okay, so, you know, there were, when I asked everybody to do this and imitate every bit of what they see up here, most people cut it short, and nobody got it right. Okay? Now, so when there's a process, you want to follow the complete process. Don't shortcut it. As I said, if we've got to spend 15 or 20 minutes on this, it's worth it. It's very important. You're going to profit from understanding this process. Now, I didn't draw that horizontal side very well, but it's supposed to be horizontal, right? So here's our fundamental triangle. Now, I could have drawn it down here, but I've already got stuff labeled on the axes, so having to run along here and interfere with my labeling. So for that fairly trivial reason, it wouldn't apply to everybody because you might have labeled the thing over here like an intelligent person would have. Okay? Not that if you labeled it there, you're not intelligent, but I'm talking about myself here. Okay. So we got to figure out our starting point and our ending point. You could start here, or you could start here. At least one person started here and went this way. Well, if you start here and go this way, then the same path would take you up here and over here, wouldn't it? Okay? That would be fine, but I'm going to do it this way. Now I said imitate. I'm not sure I saw anybody draw the arrows. Now you might not remember that was the first thing I did over here, but the arrows are clearly there, so you really need to understand that if you followed my instruction, that's what you would have done. Okay? So, what's the next thing I did? Well, I labeled the run and the rise, didn't I? So if you don't remember the order, you can do it in a different order. But the order makes a certain amount of sense. The run equals what? Well, the run is obviously 10. But you don't write down run equals 10 if you're imitating what I did here. You write run equals the coordinate here, 10, minus the coordinate here, which is 0. Because you want to get in the habit of writing that distance, or that displacement in the correct order. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is they get the order backwards. And then you get a wrong answer. And the other is that these arrows don't take you from here to here. You have an arrow that goes this way and an arrow that goes this way. That doesn't take you anywhere. You get here and you've got a dead end. You can't go this way and get from here to here. Okay? So the rise is, well, the y-coordinate here minus, the y-coordinate you end up with minus the y-coordinate here. See, I almost said it wrong. That's why you got to be careful. So the rise is where you end up at 0 minus 6, and that's negative 6. I'm not sure in the first pass around anybody had a negative sign on any of on the rise or the run. It has to be on one of them. You go from this point to this point, of course, your rise will be positive and your run will be negative. Your rise would be 6 minus 0 instead of 0 minus 6 if you went this way. And your run would be 0 minus 10, which would be negative 10. Still get the same answer. It's going to be negative 3/5. But you would get the negative, okay, in both cases. Well, then I can say, I've got to write it somewhere, slope. This is to reinforce what the slope is. So I wanted you to write it down so you're less likely to forget it. Slope equals rise over run, which is negative 6 over 10, which is negative 3/5. I could write that here, and over here then, I put negative 3/5 with a box around it. Everybody put that box around it? I don't think most people did. If you did, that's great. But if you didn't follow the entire process. It's a simple process. Okay? It's not any problem at all to follow the process, but you've got to do that. Okay, well, that's slope.